Oh ho ho! It's been a while, and it's also quite late in the day, so today might be a little bit of a hectic gym day. I am at a not the post office, but I am at a postal store because I had to get a couple things shipped off. Because give me a second, I gotta make a turn. Get me out of here! Get me out of here! Am I in the... Okay, I thought I was on a one-way street for a second. But yeah, I had to go to the postal office to get a couple things sent off. And then also, yeah, I got a little bit lazy again. Oh well, it happens. I like to correlate my Tarkov progression. I don't know what the actual terminology I need to use right here, but the more I progress in, like, the more Tarkov progression I get, the less amount of gym I go to. And it's like a correlation between it. Oops, am I in some place I'm not supposed to be in? I'm like in like the back part of like a grocery store. I'm guessing as long as there's no trucks over here, I should be free to move about freely as I please. But yeah, I took a little bit of time off from the gym because first thing that happened was last week I went bowling. And towards the end of the night, when all of my friends got too drunk to bowl, oh no, I'm stuck in here. Oh well. Let's let these cars pass by real quick. You know, I'm gonna pause real quick. All right, we are back, and the reason I paused right there is like, I wouldn't really consider driving to be stressful for me per se, but it's definitely something I need to put a little bit more focus and effort into because, oh my god, the Joker car. Did that even show up? I literally saw green and purple. I guess that's not always the Joker, but it's funnier to call something the Joker-mobile than the Hulk-mobile. Actually, Hulk-mobile is pretty funny too, because I think which Fast and Furious was it? Was it Tokyo Drift, where was it Bow Wow? Some character on that show had a Hulk car, and it looked really funny because obviously it's a Hulk car. And I think the funny concept was too, it's like this really tiny car, but it had like a Hulk graphic on it. So, tiny car, big character. And oh my goodness, I just had PT Cruiser drive by with the wood panels on it. Immaculate styling. But to go back to that story out again, so what did I do? I did chest the last gym day I had was chest. And the day after I went bowling, or the day of actually, I think the day of I went bowling. And what ended up happening was I ended up bowling for, not myself, but at first a group of 6 on one bowling alley ended up being just me and my other friend just bowling for the entirety of 6 people constantly because we're like, hey, bowling's kind of fun. And it got to the point where my right arm, and more specifically my right forearm, got so sore, and my friend also, that we ended up switching. Is that my friend Eric? That's an Eric sighting over there. That's a legitimate Eric sighting over there. Where's Eric going to right now? And this isn't even the common turn that we should be seeing each other at. And I had no way to actually signal to Eric that I am over here looking at him. But ignoring that, but I bowled a lot. I basically bowled like 2 hours straight, and then my forearms were... So I think I went bowling either on Friday or Saturday. I think it was on Friday. I went bowling on Friday, and then all the way up until Monday, which it does sound as embarrassing as it does, where up until Monday, my forearms were not like extremely sore, but they were sore enough where it was sore enough for me to make an excuse to be like, you know what, maybe I can't do back day today because what if my forearm... Did I bring my lifting straps? Wait, why are my headphones just had a glowing light on them for a second? What was that about? But they were sore enough to the point where I'm just like, maybe I should rest today and let my forearms catch back up. But in retrospect, I was just being lazy. There's no better explanation. There's no other excuse. I could say that I will say, the day after, immediately after bowling, my forearms were sore enough that to the point where when I was just on the computer typing and like moving my mouse around, they felt pretty sore, if I'm being honest right there. So let's say the first day afterwards, I had a legitimate excuse to not lift because maybe I needed my forearms to recover a little bit more so that I can actually have a better arm, or better back day and arm day all together right there. Why is there a bunch of people not going over there? But all the days after that, I was just a little bit lazy. I also didn't really sleep that well. There were things that, I wanted to just have a little bit of a cheat day, which ended up being a cheat week. Not entirely, though. Like, have I been keeping up with my fitness and lifting and cardio for the past week? No. But have I been keeping up with my diet? No. But have I been happy? Yes, I've had a pretty good week so far. And I know not everything in life can always be super balanced, but I know I can strive for a better version of that, because there are times where I think, oh, if I lift, I can't do other things in today because I'm either going to be too sore, I don't have enough time, because then it's like this, like my total amount time in the gym spent is usually 1:30 to 2 hours per day, because it includes 30 minutes of cardio and about an hour to hour and a half of lifting, which is slowly decreasing in time because I'm becoming more efficient. I'm able to target the isolated muscles a little bit better. I'm able to achieve, actual stimulating sets a lot more efficiently now too. So that time might reduce it, where who knows, maybe in the future my overall time at the gym only ends up being an hour, maybe even an hour and a half maximum. But ignoring that aside, what is that going on over there? What is that? Interesting. I know I can manage my time better, where I'm not saying I got unaddicted from Tarkov, but I had a point in my time where I was like, oh, maybe I'll stop playing the game as much, because, I kind of hit, not my goal per se that I wanted to in Tarkov, but it kind of got to the point where I kind of hit like a roadblock, because there was a bunch of quests on a map that I didn't really want to do. But then I actually ended up enjoying that process, and then boom, lo and behold, I started enjoying the game again, and now I enjoyed the game a little bit too much that I didn't go to the gym for a week. And even today, I didn't really feel like going, and technically speaking, this isn't even that great of a return, because I'll be probably going today, and then I'll be probably going tomorrow, and then on Sunday, I'm going on a little trip where I'll be back on Thursday. Kind of sounds like it rhymes, but I guess it kind of makes sense. I'm just saying days of the week right there, because they have day at the end of it, but I think, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think when I'm on my little trip, I'm going to try and find the gym over there and maybe get a couple workouts into it. And by a couple, I'm going to guess at most maybe 1 or 2, at most 3. This guy has a sticker on the back of his car that instead of saying Patagonia, it says Putangina, which I'm going to assume is probably some sort of bad word in a foreign language that I don't know of. Or if it's not a bad word, I wonder what it means. Maybe I'll search it up after I'm done driving, actually. But yeah, that happened. Oh well, whoop-de-doo. But a couple other things that did happen that was productive this week is I've been needing to get my car serviced for its yearly service, and then the dealership that I got the prepaid maintenance plan on, which I wonder if this is on purpose. They said, oh, we'll give you if you'll buy with our dealership, we'll give you this prepaid maintenance plan for free. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a couple thousand save right there too. Or I guess not a couple thousand. I think the total value was $800, $700 or whatever it is for the 5-year maintenance plan that I got. But then I remember I was like, oh, it's a year now, I should go get my car serviced. And then I started looking up on the website starting in December of 2023 to find an appointment, right? But then lo and behold, I saw on the website that only February openings were open in December. And I was like, oh, that can't be right. How are you telling me that they're booked that far in advance for a car service place? So I called them, told them my issue with the website, and then the person said simply, nope, that's correct. You want the February spot? I said, okay, yeah. So I finally got that resolved, which I wouldn't say has been giving me anxiety, but definitely has been on the back of my mind, where I'm just like, why does it take so long to even get an appointment in some places? And even, what was it? I had to get a appointment for my grandpa at a neurology institute so he can get his brain checked out. Right, that sounds a little bit more severe, but he had stroke-like symptoms, but when I brought him to the ER after hours of testing, because I remember we got to the ER at around 1:40, 2 p.m., and then I left the ER that day at 8 p.m. And the only issue was there were hours of testing and scans and everything like that too, but there were also hours of just us waiting and just doing nothing. And I remember we were both so hungry. And my grandpa, personally, he is a very, should I even call him a first-generation immigrant? Because technically my parents are the first-generation immigrants, and once they got settled in here, they brought my grandpa over. So my grandpa, I wouldn't even call American per se. I mean, he has a citizenship here, but he's not very Americanized at all. So all the food he enjoys too are very much Korean-esque, and he doesn't really like a lot of, foreign foods to him, if I want to call it that, which are just normal foods. So it's like a sandwich. But I remember that day he was so hungry after waiting so long in the hospital. I saw this man devour an American ham sandwich with lettuce. I think it was really just cheese, ham, lettuce, bread, and a little bit of mayonnaise on it. I've never seen him eat a sandwich that fast before in my life. Like, usually anytime, like say if I make myself a sandwich, because he'll never usually buy a sandwich himself, he'll take like a bite or two and he's like, oh, not my thing. I'm like, yeah, respectable. I mean, not everybody has to have the same, food palate as everybody, right? But that day I saw him demolish an entire sandwich, and it was kind of a sight to behold, to be honest. Like, I looked at it and I was like, my goodness, where'd the sandwich go? Grandpa, where'd the sandwich go? And he's like, that was pretty good. And I was like, wow. So it really puts into perspective how a lot of foods that you might not like, just starve yourself. No, do not do that to yourself. Do not starve yourself. Which is kind of ironic I say that, considering that is essentially, well, I guess I didn't starve myself. I put myself in a caloric deficit, which had a large enough deficit that I would lose fat in the long-term run. And I was able to do that. And I'm bringing up the numbers again. 220-pound Andy dropped all the way down to 137-pound Andy. And now that 137-pound Andy went on a bulk, and now we're at 170-pound Andy. I'm not sure what my bulking weight limit is going to be. There's always that funny video of Sam Sulek yelling in his car saying, if you're under 200 pounds right now, I am mandating that you go on a bulk until you're 200. But also, that being said, I'm pretty sure Sam Sulek is in my height at 200 pounds. I don't really know if I would particularly enjoy that. Like, if it's 200-pound lean mass, maybe it would look all right, but I personally think, especially without the aid of PEDs, as a natural lifter at my 5'7" frame, that I don't know if 200 pounds will be a good weight for me to be at, because maybe I'm just trying to find excuses again, saying, oh, bulking to 200 sounds too hard, that's so many calories, that's so much eating that I have to do. But in the long run too, I do want to keep up a fitness goal that's attainable and maintainable. So, like, I have to be realistic that, without the usage of PEDs and steroids, that I'm not going to have the physique that I see on, social media, and some people that I go, holy my goodness, that guy has a crazy physique. I just want a physique that I'm proud of, but at the same time that some people can look at and be like, dang, you should be proud of that. It's, it's the vanity in all of us where we still want to achieve things that might be impossible, but it's the idea that it's impossible that kind of makes it easier for me to grasp towards that, because like anything that even inches towards that goal still feels like a huge leap in a way. Like, if I give myself tiny goals, I feel like once I hit a tiny goal, okay, let me rephrase. I've said this plenty of times, but like, it's good to have tiny goals along the way, little checkpoints, right? I don't even want to call them goals. I want to call them checkpoints. Because I feel like the moment I start calling them goals is when I might start losing motivation, where I go, oh, I hit this goal now. Now what? But if I were to have a little bit of an impossible feat that I always strive towards, and I also, maintain a healthier relationship and not get stressed that I'm not ever going to reach that point, I feel like every little chip I make away at that is just going to be that much more impactful. Is that I saw two of my friends now today, and they didn't see me. So now it's like should I turn off the video and text them saying, hey, I saw you right now? Should I make it really creepy too? Be like, hey, I see you. And they're like, oh, what was that thing that you could do before when you make a call? I think you can type in *67 and call somebody with that number before it, and they would show up as an unknown number. And I remember that's what a lot of people did for prank calls back when I was in 6th grade. Because I remember just getting a phone call and just hear heavy breathing. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, Pizza Hut, and they would hang out. I'm like, what was that? And then the next day, a random friend of mine at school would be like, hey, did you get a call from Pizza Hut yesterday? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? And they're like, nothing, just thought about asking. And now the puzzle pieces are actually starting to add together now, and it makes a lot of sense. But damn, that kind of looked like my friend Alex was leaving the gym right now. So if I went a little bit earlier today, I probably could have seen him at the gym today. And that would have been pretty darn cool if I'm thinking about it, actually. Because today I will not be joined by my usual Friday comrade Alex. My good friend Alex will not be joining us on this Friday lift, mainly because it is not in the morning, and also the fact that he got a little bit of a oopsie whoopsie ouchie wouchie in his back, and today is back day for me. Whoop-de-doo, today's back day, fellas. You know, the gym actually doesn't look that, or I guess the parking lot doesn't look that packed, but I'm going to assume the worst because I'm heading into the gym at 3 p.m. on a Friday, and I'm going to think that in maybe 30 minutes to an hour, I'm going to have to be fending off some people at some of my machines. Or maybe I can make some friends, who knows? Who knows? But with that in mind, 30 minutes of cardio first that we must tackle. I really need to clean my car, actually. It is, my goodness, it is disgusting here. But yeah, 30 minutes of cardio, and probably see you on assisted pull-ups first. Whoop. Oh, this might be the end of this tripod's usage cycle, because it's I'm actually kind of bittersweet about it, because every other part of the tripod works other than, well, I guess I mean it's still holding up currently because it's not falling off yet, and I'm, you know, you're literally seeing me record with it right now, but the part that actually holds the phone onto the actual tripod, it's on its last legs, because every single component of that thing is now snapping, because it's like the thing, like, you know, when you tighten something, you know, you got to screw it in, right? And when you have plastic parts that are screwing it in like that, if you tend to over tighten it, the plastic tends to crack and break off, and that is exactly what has happened right now. So I think I need to go on the hunt for another tripod, or maybe a new phone mount. I'm not 100% sure, because as I said, like, this is a perfectly fine and functioning tripod. Maybe I can just get an attachment for it that's just for the phone part at the top. Maybe that's what I'll look for, actually. But in this day and age of consumerism, I'm kind of half expecting that I probably can't buy just that top part, because I'm guessing I'll have to probably buy another whole new tripod just to get that part on top. But who knows, maybe I'll have a pleasant surprise when I get home. But back has been accomplished. 30 minutes of cardio has been accomplished. 4 sets of lat-oriented pull-down motions. 4 sets of rows to hit the upper and middle back. And 4 sets of rear deltoid, hopefully isolated exercises. So, what do we do today? I did 2 sets of assisted pull-ups at 55 pounds on the assisted part. So, since I weigh around 170-ish, if you subtract 155, or not 150, 55, I was pulling up essentially that weight. 2 sets of that, and then my beloved lat pull-down machine with using the reverse grip was taken. So what did I do? I did 1 set of lat pullovers, which I haven't done in a while because I don't want to call them inefficient or anything, but it just felt like the other exercises felt better for me personally. But did 1 set of pullovers today while I was waiting for the machine to open up. And if the machine didn't open up, I probably would have just finished the day off with 2 full sets of pullovers and called it a day too, because after not doing them for a while, they actually felt quite pleasantly nice. The only issue that I have with pullovers is that it just feels like I have a really hard time actually progressing in weight and reps, because maybe I need to do them first, maybe, I don't know yet, but it seems every time I do pullovers, I'm stuck at doing the same weight for very similar amount of reps and for very similar amount of sets. Or maybe I just need to experiment more. Maybe that's what's holding me back. But I never really got into pullovers too much because I never had a sense of progression with them, and that, a sense of progression always feels nice, especially in the gym, because more progress technically in the long run means more muscle. So it's a pretty easy correlation to see right there. Like, I know, not always is going to be the case. If you just, increase something of 5 pounds doesn't mean you all of a sudden unlock 5 more pounds of muscle mass, but still, it's a step towards the right direction. And I really feel like lifting is one of the simpler joys of life where, I know there's a whole science behind it. You need recovery, you need a bunch of other stuff to make sure actually progressing at a healthy and steady rate. But in the core of it, if the weight goes up, that means you're doing a lot better than what you did last time. So, pretty simple thing to kind of think about now, right? And in this day and age where things are so complicated at times, what's wrong with a little bit of simplification, right? What's wrong with that? Is it just me? I can't tell if the thing is like wobbly or earthquake. Actually, maybe I shouldn't be making fun of earthquakes, because who knows? I live in the Pacific Northwest, and apparently one day, probably not when I'm alive, there's going to be a big earthquake that causes quite the ruckus apparently in this area. But on that note, I'm feeling pretty darn good today. I finished all the chores and errands I needed to run. Well, at least outside of the house. I finished all my chores and errands I need to do out of the house, but I still have a couple things I need to do at the house. So day's not fully fulfilled yet. I also have a very large urge to go home and play Tarkov, but I need to be strong. I need to stand strong. Because if I play Tarkov, I know I'm going to play for a couple hours, and probably all the things I wanted to do will get postponed, then I'll have to stay up late, then I'll probably wake up tired again tomorrow. And it's like this constant cycle, just like right there. Like, I know I can still have a good time by going home and doing all my things that I need to do first, and then getting on to play, and then going to bed and having a full night of rest. But it's always hard, man. It's like that. It's the idea that instant gratification really, there's a reason it says instant. You get it instantly. And the fact that I have to wait for it, nobody really likes waiting that much, People can say, oh, patience is the key to enjoying life. But if you ask any normal old Joe and say, would you rather have $100 right now, or would you rather have $100 in an hour? They probably all agree, I want $100 right now. Is it fair to make that same assumption for everything in life? No, but it's what I like to think, that yes, instant gratification is nice, but maybe, just maybe, if I can fool myself into saying, maybe if I get that $100 in an hour from now, I'll be even happier because I had an hour to kind of look forward to it. I know, flawed logic, but it's these little steps and little tiny checkpoints, remember, not goals, little checkpoints along the way that really make you appreciate things in life a little bit more. And the impossible feat that I want to do is I want to get six-pack abs. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I want six-pack abs. I just want visible abs for once in my life, which, you know, if I'm genetically not built for it, it is going to be a little bit of a doozy, and I guess a little bit of a disappointment, but we don't know yet until I strive for it now, right? And I know, is every problem in my life going to be solved the moment I get visible chiseled abs? No, but who's to say it doesn't make it a little bit better, right? Who's to say having visible abs makes me just a fraction happier in life? And even just that small fraction, I'll take it, because why not? I will say one thing right now that I'm noticing while I'm driving. My forearms, not sore, like, they're not sore to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm getting wobbly steering, but it's definitely to the point where if I do this, if I do this, I don't know why I went into that accent right there. Kind of grip the steering wheel a little bit hard, you know, like kind of grip it, you know, like there's some tension. There's something going on over there, especially in like this part. I guess you can't really see it, but you know, I should not be doing this while driving. Funny enough, it's somehow that me recording myself driving like in a way promotes healthier driving habits for me, because it's like I see myself doing the things that I would probably not consider the safest thing to do while driving. And then I tell myself, that sounds stupid, that looks stupid, you should not do it. Yeah. And then kind of was the case right there. Like, obviously that wouldn't have been the case if I wasn't recording at all. Like, I mean, unless I'm insane, then that would be the case, that recording would help me because I'd be more aware of it. But remember everybody, if you drive, always be defensive, always be safe, because again, I say it so many times, driving is pretty darn dangerous. Not just because you're at the wheel, it's because you also have to trust other people at the wheel. Like, I'm not on some high horse saying, oh, I'm 100% a perfect driver. I am not. But I do my best to stay out of trouble and stay out of wreck's way. But, you know, let's be honest, there's been so many accidents and crashes that people have encountered where it's 0% their fault, and they still get hit. And it's an unfortunate circumstance of living in a place where driving is so prevalent. Like, think about living in some place like Japan where, like, you know, a majority of people take public transit and just walk around everywhere. Your chances of getting into a car accident there is probably a lot less than probably in the US where everybody has to drive. And let's just say you see some wacky driving occasionally in this country. Enough to the point where you can just type in bad driving compilation and you'll probably realize that a lot of the videos are from the US. Actually, I feel like a lot of the videos might actually not be from the US, because for some reason, for a nation that drives so much, we really do not have as high of a percentage of people with dash cams. I know that's becoming more common now, and it's ironic I say that considering I don't even have a dash cam in this car when I have a dash cam in the other car. But it is a bit odd to think, for a country that is built to drive, literally built to drive, like, all we have are like 16-lane highways that still get blocked up during rush hour, yet we don't really have a large percentage of people with dash cams. And also, for such a large country with so much water, like, well, I guess maybe I should say so much water, but, you know, with a vast infrastructure that could support it, why did Americans not adopt the whole bidet thing? And I know we're probably getting into the whole thing and get, oh, he's talking about poop again, but again, this is another thing. I don't own a bidet. I've used a bidet, especially in foreign countries, and they're awesome. So why didn't they become popular here? Like, why isn't like Kohler's or like whatever, was it Toto? Like these other toilet companies, why aren't they on the bidet train? Especially with the advanced bidets I've seen, like there's like ones that have like multiple water settings. They got a dryer, they got warm water, they got cold water, they got like UV sanitization, they got like toilet lids that open up when you open the door to the toilet. There's a toilet technology has advanced quite a bit, especially toilet lid technology, because I guess that's where the bidet is usually at. But how come it didn't really get adopted in the U.S.? Like, is there like a reason? Was big toilet against it? Was big water against it? I don't know, and I don't know if I'll ever find out. But I hope that one day bidets become a thing that every American household has. Maybe I'll become the American president and make that the first thing. But on that note, actually, I cannot be legally allowed to be the American president because I was not born in the United States. I was born out of the country, in old South Korea. Oh, but it is a ripe 5:07 p.m. at the moment. I went to the gym at around 3:14ish. So today's lift only took about Probably less than an hour, actually, because I think I did 30 minutes of cardio, and then I probably lifted for maybe just over an hour, actually. So a little bit under 2 hour session today, if I remember correctly. Back, I feel like should be sufficiently worked by tomorrow, or it sounds funny to say sufficiently worked by tomorrow, because that makes it sound like I'm going to do more tonight, but... And then tomorrow, if I do end up going to the gym, arms. Arms are on the freaking agenda. This camera angle seems really low for some reason. Is it because I have to do this? Is that all it really took? I guess you guys can see more of my body now. But now I need to figure out what I need to do for dinner. I don't think I'm going to eat 2 meals today. Or 2 more meals. I had a really late breakfast today. I literally ate, well, I guess I shouldn't even call it breakfast. That's basically lunch at that point. But I ate my first meal at around like 12 p.m. today, which was not expected, but I woke up, ended up, I slept past my alarm a little bit, about like 20-30 minutes, which wasn't, the worst case scenario. Well, I guess if I worked like a normal, like, commuting job, that would be a pretty bad scenario if I woke up 20 to 30 minutes late. But since I work from home, waking up 20 to 30 minutes late is not too bad. I just remembered there's actually one more chore I forgot to do outside the house. I need to make a deposit at the bank. Whoopsies, but I'll probably just do that tomorrow. I think the banks are closed, and I probably need to go early tomorrow because I think the banks close early on the weekends, if they even open at all. So I gotta do that, actually. Good reminder that I gave myself right there. But I'm thinking maybe I'll just have one really big meal for tonight, like right as I get home. And I'm feeling, I believe Mum made some Korean food, so I'll have that as like a supplementary side. But I'm thinking rice, and I'm thinking a ton of eggs right now. I'm thinking 3 to 4 whole eggs. And I'm thinking half a serving or half a container of egg whites. And I'm going to mix that all up together into rice. And I'm either going to... Oh, wait, I still have some tuna, too, that I haven't finished off yet. Maybe I'll add that in, too. And then I'm thinking for my fiber/green and veggie supplement, maybe an apple, maybe a kiwi, maybe some frozen blueberries. I'm not sure yet. I'm also craving a banana at the moment too, but not so sure yet, to be honest. Not so sure. But actually, I need to take my creatine too. I haven't taken my creatine in a while. I've been slacking on the creatine, which apparently isn't the worst thing, because if you already have, consistently been taking creatine for a couple of months, your body's not all of a sudden going to lose your creatine storage that you've built up for the past couple of months. And you do have a little bit of a leeway. And even if I did, we can always get back up on that that habit, right? But on that note, I think I'm going to cut it short here. Come on. Need a more downward angle, though. What if I do this? Oh. Am I in the frame still if I do this? Alright, let's see if this footage gives me body dysmorphia or gives me better motivation to just keep on going right now.